Not very often at all.
Your
Topside triangle?
Your Fabio guy is right in my way, Drew.
Who, Alabama?
Alabama?
Alabama.
We just made this guy famous.
I'm going to post a picture of him, too.
Oh, shit.
Should he send the Bama? The banner?
I got a picture of him doing this. So we're going to Photoshop a microphone into his hand.
Alabama.
Oh, going for a leg lock. Potential heel hook. Both of them are, nice. James is employing the heel strikes to the shoulder.
Another thing that's not ever used.
And not going for the, he's working something. Or
it looks
avoiding
like he's
something.
going for that knee bar. No.
And generally, you find that when one's got a knee bar, the other one's got the same thing. It's a matter of who gets it first.
Yeah. We're in a position that we're having a hell of a time trying to see what's going on here.
Well, we were talking about before, they're definitely in the scissor position.
Just slapping.
Usually reserved for... snuck out.
All right, what the hell?
We've missed 3 fights now because people are standing right in the fucking way.
Gerard definitely going with the ground and pound there.
Is that James?
James is on top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's beating the shit out of him now.
When you start doing the vanilla gorilla hammer fists.
Right, Gooseberry.
I like the credit.
You know what? There is one critique of the Rubicon, and that's no TV screen.
Yeah, that would help.
That is right.
That would definitely help.
That's funny that we didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it.
That's it. Finish the fight in the first round.
So now, the standard thing for an MMA bout, most kickboxing bouts, all that stuff, is they put the bad fights at the beginning or the inexperienced guys, and you're slowly building up to the main event.
Right.
Steve Alley used to take that to a new level, and he would start off with like a title fight and then have some bad fights, and then in the middle have like a good fight and stuff. And I actually like that format. It kind of kept it engaged throughout.
I agree.
You know, it wasn't one of those things where you could show up at intermission and see all the good bouts. You know, it kind of engaged everybody throughout.
Yeah. The thing I like, sorry, but the thing I liked about Steve Alley is the same concept. He kept it very the way fights used to be. I mean, he was in a ring. It wasn't in a cage. He didn't even go to a cage until, a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
And he's been going forever. But I loved fighting in the ring. I loved fighting in the ring.
Did you really?
Hell yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean... but
what was it you liked better about the ring than a cage?
To be honest with you, I'm a heavyweight, so it works differently from a smaller guy. I would use that, the ropes, to bounce into and use that momentum to either hip throw or pull someone over or
cannonball yourself.
Pretty much, and it also creates a show too. I mean, because everybody wants you to fall out of the ring. I thought that was always cool. Like I never fell out of a ring, but I came pretty damn close to taking one fully down. But yeah, I just like the way that he progressed, and to be honest with you, I think he should still be in a ring instead of a cage because it's a lost art. We talked about that earlier with the Muay Thai and kickboxing. It's a lost art, and now it's starting to pick up. But I think we can do better with that.
Yeah, for the grappling, though, you know what? Especially for the amateur type stuff, you see people trying to escape under the ropes.
Yeah.
And getting started back up. And I'm not a big fan of, you know what, if you lose your position and they start you right back into the center of the ring in the same position type thing. Mm-hmm. You know what? If you're on the ground, you know what, and you get stood up or you got to stop the action, stand back up.
Yeah.
And generally that is a good style. However, I did see something where that actually won the guy the fight. And that this guy did an illegal technique. The guy was behind him trying to choke him. He threw his head back. And this is a professional bout. This is on Bellator. And I knew the guy. His name was Rafael Butler, excellent boxer that switched over to MMA. And he was getting schooled on the ground. He threw an illegal headbutt. They stopped the bout, and they ended up standing them up, which was his forte. And he ended up knocking the guy out. And I'm not sure how you end up doing that in lieu of an illegal technique like that.
Yeah.
You know what? At that point, it's almost one of those things that, yeah, you do have to start them back there because you know what? The illegal technique got you an ill advantage.
Right. And that's how it used to be for the longest time. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a rule change or what. But, you know, with the ring, like I'd be like bent over, my back halfway completely off of the ring side, and I'm still fighting no matter what. And eventually, after a certain amount of time, then they reset you in the middle, but they're in the exact same position. And the ref would not let you like change anything. He would remember what's going on. And now you just stand it back up and you start from square one. I don't like that.
Any interruption in the fight, I think, is detrimental to at least one of the fighters. Not only that, but there's a lot of, with MMA, there's a lot of training that goes into certain techniques that are off of the cage or with the, fighting off of, climbing the wall, or back to your wall, back to the cage, using the cage to your advantage or to your opponent's disadvantage.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think if it was an MMA style fight where it went to the ground, I'd rather have it in the cage, stand up in the ring all day.
Well, I just think go back to Ring of Fire, go back to Battle Quest and all that stuff. Their first 4 fights would be Muay Thai. You know what I mean? It'd be a kickboxing.
That's when you had the cross promotions and stuff, and we talked about that. And then everybody was up there. Kickboxing started dying out and such, and now it's starting to make the resurgence.
Yeah,
you got 5280 up there in Denver. You got Jeff Martinez doing his shows down here in Colorado Springs, and they're putting on quality shows.
Yeah,
and they're bringing up the next group. Those are the ones that Christopher's fought on.
Right.
Both those shows. So
yeah, and there was Bang Fighting. They changed the name, right?
Are you talking about Just Bang?
Yeah, Just Bang Muay Thai, and then they changed the name because I can't even remember. But
no, they didn't change the name. They changed the promotion.
Okay.
So yeah, Just Bang is no more.
Yeah. Well, none of it is anymore. But I mean, not to say that in a bad way or anything. I mean, it's a horrible situation, but that was the outlet here in Colorado Springs. I mean, there's not a whole lot of Muay Thai. I mean, like you said, you got the stuff in Denver, but I mean, how many shows are actually going on?
Hey, Jeff Martinez with the 719 Fight Night has taken that over. I think he's kind of taken over the Colorado Springs aspect of it. Eric and I have talked many times about doing a K1 qualifier or an IKF qualifier. Yeah, all
right. Well, we got. Sorry to interrupt, guys. We got Brett Roller in the ring right
Brett
now.
In there?
He's in the cage. He just announced. So I'm gonna make a quick trip around. I'm gonna go see Jeff Martinez. Not Jeff Martinez. What the hell am I talking?
Cerone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for him and get him over here before it's too late. So.
Brett's the right?
Yes, Brett's
the co-main event.
The semi-main event.
Yeah,
semi.
The co-boner.
He's the semi.
He's the co-boner. All right, I'll be right back.
With one of those those little blue pills, you can be a main event.
Right. So Brett apparently
Brett's been around forever.
Yeah, no, he used to be one of the Kings of the Springs.
He's been around since the Tapper Snaps, and
he's got 30 fights.
That I don't know how many fights he had.
30 fights, yeah. So, and
And you've got a personal connection with him as well with the wrestling. Am I correct?
Yeah, he's one of the coaches for the Spartan Elite Youth Wrestling Team, and I co-coach with him.
Well, talk about that a little bit. The Spartan Elite stuff. How's that helping?
It's awesome. Club wrestling. I think wrestling is one of the greatest sports you can put your kid in. I mean, aside from martial arts, which would be my first choice, for many different reasons, wrestling has a lot of ethical value towards growing up and just learning how to discipline yourself and things like that. Not only that, but like you said, I mean, there's a large percentage of fights that go to the ground. Having a good base and being able to control somebody on the ground.
And it's a great way for especially those kids who aren't really team players. You know what? There is no team, and there's a team in wrestling, and that you guys are all training with each other to build each other up. But when you're out there on the mat, it's all one individual. Win, lose, or draw.
Nobody else to blame.
Nobody else.
and that's one of the things about wrestling that I think is the great thing. Even if you are a team player and you're a team sport type of athlete, you should go in and do a sport like wrestling or martial arts or something like that, where it is just you. Because there's a lot of athletes out there that when they're winning, it's glorious, and when they lose, they have someone else to blame.
Oh yeah,
and
you can tell those true leaders.
Yeah.
You think of like the Peyton Mannings,
right?
You know what?
Right.
When they win, you know what? Hey, listen, you know what? I had a great team. The running backs were on point. You know what?
Right.
The wide receivers, they had like Velcro on their hands. You know what? But when they lose, oh man, I was screwing it up.
Right. There's some people who didn't do their job, or
Brett Roller gotten quite a few more tattoos since the last time I saw him.
He's pretty covered in the front, for sure.
Yeah, he is. So
his opponent that he's fighting is
definitely going in with the wrestling. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, and his opponent comes out of Jackson's Wink. I know he's from Hawaii.
Jackson's Wink out of New Mexico, or Jackson Wink out of Pueblo?
New Mexico.
I
believe.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We've definitely seen them in their shows in the UFC and fighters that they produce. So
you know what? Well, no, I want to say it is New Mexico. Brett had told that we interviewed him but previous to the fights, and he had said that he was going to try to keep it standing, but he immediately went in for a shot.
It goes back into it that, you know what, you go back to what you know.
Yeah.
And if he's been a wrestler all his life, that's going to be his go-to technique.
And a damn good wrestler.
Oh, yeah. Trying to pull him right back up, and that's his chance to go back to standing. Let's see if he's able to make the best out of it there.
He's got the whizzer on the left. Just needs to pivot off. He's protecting the knee.
All right.
Got the cross knee protecting.
But he's looking for that takedown again. He's looking to
change levels.
He's got to get off that cage.
His opponent is super strong. Guy's got
he's controlling.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, just picked him up right there and dropped him on his back.
Which is weird because, I mean, you're taking the wrestling game out of Roller.
Well, and Brett right away went in for the shot. Negated any kind of stand-up.
As the guy stands right in front of us one more time without the... He's got kind of the...
Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, he's got kind of the ponytail, but not the long flowing locks that Drew likes.
Yeah, I know. But we're there we go. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
So after this fight, Cowboy's going to come over.
Okay,
cool. He's going to be upset that he's going to listen to the double barrel doo-doo on the podcast and go, what do you mean I don't have long flowing locks? Damn those guys.
Right, so he's doing a pretty good job of
right hands,
stacking Brett and just kind of working the ground and pound up against the cage, keeping his head up against it.
Brett is resilient, though, man. He's a very strong individual, and he's got a tough chin.
Brett can definitely take a punch.
But it's something. This is kind of something that I've been kind of working on with my students and stuff, and it's kind of a hierarchy of techniques. I don't know if you've even heard this yet, Mike. But, at the bottom, I think about like the hierarchy of needs with your security and all that stuff. And, you need your basic things about drinking water and all that stuff. Well, I got a hierarchy of techniques, which at the bottom is always position and striking. You can always position, you can always strike. It doesn't make a difference who you are. That's something you can do. At the next level, you got your takedowns and your chokes. Okay?
He's got his back.
He's got Brett's back?
Yeah.
So he's got his position, he's got his striking. And then you go into your position in the choke. At the top level, you got your big throws and your takedowns. Those are the ones are your joint locks and your takedown and your big throws. So those are the hardest ones to get. You're trying to get in there and stuff like that, but you can always position and strike. So
Yeah,